Hi, I'm Ashley Smith from the Farmington Hills Nature Center, and welcome to this episode of Nature in the Hills. Today we have with us again Sonia Ozog. Welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you.
We're going to be exploring aromatherapy and essential oils today. So can you share a little bit about what you do and some background on aromatherapy and essential oils?
Sure. I am a certified holistic health practitioner. So I help people find the answers they need to return to health or to maintain health. I'm very big into education, so people learn how to help themselves. My motto is, why wait until something happens?
Yeah, be proactive, definitely when it comes to your health. Yeah. So I mentioned we're going to be exploring aromatherapy. So what is aromatherapy? What's the history behind it? Explain it a little bit for us.
So aromatherapy, very simply, is the use of essential oils for healing.
Okay.
History, aromatherapy has been around for about 6,000 years. Aromatherapy is a word that was coined in 1937 by René Maurice Gattefossé in France. He owned a cosmetic firm, and he was a famous scholar and chemist. He was one of the first ones who understood that essential oils can be used to support the healing in the human body.
Right.
He owned, like I said, a cosmetic firm, and there was this factory explosion, and he got severely burnt. And modern science couldn't help him until he discovered that lavender oil was able to heal his wounds. So to this day, lavender is known as a wound healer. So from there, aromatherapy established in France. From there, it went to Great Britain. It spread all over Europe, but it didn't reach the US until the 1980s.
Okay. So it sounds like aromatherapy has a lot of potential. One of the things that I love about it is its connection to nature. So a lot of elements of aromatherapy come from nature. So how are those connected?
Well, most people don't know that when they go outside, they are getting a natural aromatherapy session.
Especially in the spring, you have all those flowers blossoming, and you are overwhelmed by the smells of nature.
Because what you smell are essential oils. And so plants create essential oils to communicate with each other. Some people say trees talk to each other, and that is one of my favorite examples, because trees actually do use essential oils to communicate. For example, if a deer starts eating the bark of a young tree, it will start creating an essential oil that will warn the other trees.
Wow.
And the other trees, in turn, will create more essential oils that now deter the deer from eating their bark. The deer by now know this, and they'll go down 300 yards to a tree that hasn't been warned yet and start eating the bark over there.
So you mentioned essential oils. What is an essential oil, and how does it work?
Okay, so an essential oil is a highly concentrated extract of the plant. And it could be any part of the plant. It could be the root, the leaf, the flower. That depends on which essential oil it is and where the plant produces it.
So when you're out in nature, if you had a leaf in your hand and you kind of crumpled it up or something, and you had what felt like kind of liquidy in your fingers, would that be an essential oil from that leaf?
That would be an essential oil. That's exactly right. So why do plants create essential oils? Plants create essential oils to protect themselves from disease, to repel invading organisms, and to attract pollinators. And so the whole idea is that since we live in the same environment, the human body can use essential oils and their properties, because most of them are antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, so all of the properties the plant needs to keep itself healthy, those properties can then be used by the human body to maintain health or even heal itself.
Wow, that's incredible.
And that is how they work. Science cannot explain how it exactly works, because an essential oil is highly complex. For example, the essential oil of lavender has over 300 chemical components. And so its effect is more evidence-based, knowledge handed down over generations, like Monsieur Gattefossé, who healed himself with lavender.
Yeah, that's amazing. So one of the things that, I think a lot of folks now use essential oils for all kinds of things, relaxation, stress relief, different things with their health. So how do essential oils, how do they impact people? So what are some ways that
Okay,
that
so
we can use them?
there are two different aspects of an essential oil. One is the emotional aspect, and the other is the physical aspect.
Okay.
The essential oil that you inhale
Yes.
reaches your emotional brain through your sense of smell, also called olfaction.
Okay.
And so that explains why an essential oil can have an immediate effect in times of emotional turmoil, because it bypasses all other centers of your brain, all control centers. So it gives you an immediate sense of relief.
Right.
That's the emotional
It
aspect.
really does.
It really does, yes. And then the physical aspect behind it is that when you apply an essential oil on your skin, let's say you put it on the bottom of your feet, it will be detectable in your breath in as little as 10 minutes.
So it just travels through the body?
The essential oil molecules are small enough to reach your bloodstream, and that's how it travels throughout your whole body.
Wow, that's incredible. I think anytime that you're exploring your senses, whether you're out in nature, exploring different textures or smells or colors, everyone has different reactions to different smells and colors and textures. And I think that's when you mentioned that it's difficult for science to explain all of the ways that it impacts a person. Everyone's different. They react different to their senses when they're exploring out in nature, just like they would with aromatherapy or essential oils. So that definitely makes sense.
Yes, and then one more important aspect on this is that the sense of smell is connected not only to emotions but to memories. So for example, I have a childhood memory. I smelled the roses after I came home from school. They grew in front of my parents' house. And it's such a fond memory that whenever I smell anything that is just similar to it, I have a smile on my face.
And that's such a great connection, I think, too, when we bring groups out into the park and just on nature walks or for nature programs, tying and using your senses, smells, how things feel. It really makes those memories tangible so that they can remember them for years to come, those positive experiences in the natural world. But I think what's really interesting too about essential oils and aromatherapy is, it's very easy to go outside and expose yourself to it, but then you can also purchase it from different stores now. You can find essential oils everywhere. So what should folks know when they're working on, deciding what kind of essential oils they want to buy? What are some things that they should know?
Well, one of the most important aspects of aromatherapy is the quality of essential oils.
Sure.
Because if you take an essential oil that was altered with a synthetic substance even, you will not get the therapeutic aspect of it.
Right.
It is not what nature created, what nature intended it to be. So those oils need to be genuine and authentic. Genuine meaning just true essential oils the way nature intended them to be, without any additives.
Sure.
Ideally, completely free of environmental toxins. They need to be authentic.
Definitely makes sense, especially how you mentioned they can absorb in the body, so you would want them to be
Yes,
as pure
because they're
as
very
they can be.
powerful in their concentration.
Sure.
So what does authentic mean? How do I know something is authentic? There's only one way to identify that, and that is through the Latin binomial. That
Okay.
is the internationally recognized name of a given plant. And you can see it on a,
So essentially the
on
plant's
a label.
scientific name.
Exactly,
Right.
and that is the only way truly identify just
Right.
one plant.
Because a common name of a plant or some of these oils might be different in different parts of the country. So by having that scientific name, you know that you're getting the plant that you want.
Right, and then for essential oils, very important is the method of how they are created, and that it's done by an expert that knows exactly what it is he's doing, and so there's quality control.
Yeah, one of the plants I like to use as an example for that too is even a plant like bee balm. That's a plant that a lot of people might have in their yard. It's a Michigan wildflower, but there's different names for bee balm. Some might call it Monarda, some might call it, there's different colors, different varieties, but if you have the scientific name, then you know you're getting the plant that you want. And bee balm is one, again, that I love the aroma of it when you're out there in the summertime. You can really smell from the flower head. So when you are going out to buy essential oils, you know, you're kind of picking out which ones you want. How do you know which ones to use? How do you best use each of the oils that you are going to purchase?
There are different ways you can use essential oils. One of the methods is inhalation.
Okay.
So you could just simply have an aromatherapy diffuser like the one that we have over here. There's different types of diffusers. This one is doesn't use any heat, so that means we get the most out of the essential oils. Inhalation, so now you're getting the emotional aspect. You're getting a small quantity of essential oils. Another way is
if you were going to use one of those diffusers, there's different sizes, right? For like the size of the room. Is that kind of how it works? Like how that expands throughout the space, or is it like you can just have a small one and it
really all depends
spreads
on,
throughout the room?
You know, an example would be this contains water, and so you would just add a certain number of drops.
Okay, depending on how
5
large
to
the space
10
was.
drops. So it doesn't really depend on the size of
Okay.
the diffuser, but the amount of the essential oils that you use.
That makes sense. Cool.
And so when it comes to the amount used, people tend to overuse.
Okay.
These essential oils are very, very concentrated. And so it only takes a couple of drops, 3 drops. So the rule of thumb is you use 3 drops of essential oils per ounce of carrier oil. So that's a very common method to apply an essential oil is you take a carrier oil like olive oil or sunflower oil, and you can find them in the grocery store. Use top quality ones. Like always, I like to use organic. And so what you do is you take a little bit of that carrier oil. You can just put it on your hand. And you take the essential oil of your choice. And in this, I just would add 1 drop. And voila, you have what you need.
Mix together.
Mix it up, and then you can apply it
Okay.
wherever you feel like it's beneficial. This could be for irritated skin, or this one is very beneficial for your emotions. And this is a safe way to apply essential oils.
Versus having like the drop directly on and not having anything to kind of dilute the very concentrated drop of oil.
Yes, because it can be unsafe to do that.
Okay.
There are some essential oils that are safe to use undiluted, and lavender happens to be one of them. Yet I still find it beneficial to use it with an oil because it gives you an extra benefit.
Sure.
Another way is you could use an inhaler. There's a little cotton piece in here, and what you do is you soak it with a little essential oil, 5 drops. You insert it into the inhaler, and it comes with a little cap. And then throughout the day,
And that's something you can carry with you and kind of take it out
right, and it
throughout
lasts for about a whole week.
the day. Wow.
And this is very beneficial.
It's very travel sized too, which is nice.
Yes, it is, and it's a very simple way to do this. Another way to apply it is using one of the roller bottles. You can fill it with, once again, a carrier oil mixed with an essential oil. Can carry it in a purse, apply it when you need to, even under the nose for a respiratory complaint. You could use eucalyptus in it.
We were talking earlier about how mint kind of cools you down. So on those hot summer days, that I could see using that when you're feeling just kind of really warm on a hot day, and using a little mint on a roller to just kind of make your body feel like you're cooling yourself down. So
Yeah, I don't know if I would put it that general, because when you start using essential oils, you should really know what you're doing
right.
and not just use them because they feel like this or
Sure.
that. So it takes a little bit of knowledge to do this.
I think too, you know, folks trying out the different oils and seeing how their body responds to it too. So even if you read about it and, study it, and then trying it for yourself first to kind of make sure that your body responds to it well, because everyone's a little bit different too. So that makes sense.
Another good way of using them is actually the old-fashioned way. You take a pot, you boil some water, take it off the heat, you add some essential oils, maybe 5 drops. You don a towel over it and you breathe in the essential oils, because it will readily evaporate these oils and you can breathe them in, and that's a wonderful way for respiratory complaints.
Yeah.
Or you could use a bath salt and infuse them with essential oils. You can take an existing product like a shampoo and add an essential oil that is valuable for your hair. Or you could add it to a soap to make it antibacterial for acne.
Wow. There's so many uses for it. I guess, so a lot of these oils that we have here, you were talking about adding them to a carrier, but can you mix the oils together and use them for multiple things?
Yes, you can. And I like to say that you shouldn't mix more than 3 to 5 essential oils, because you lose sight of the therapeutic goal.
Okay.
You'll find a lot of products that have maybe 10 or even more in them.
Okay.
And that's more for the fragrance part of it. But when it comes to using essential oils for therapeutic value, you should have a goal in mind, and then pick a couple, 3, maximum 5, and you can safely mix them together.
Okay.
You need to be aware of there is such thing as called essential oil synergy. This is when you take a bottle, you add some essential oils to it, 3 or more, and you shake them together, which then creates a synergy of essential oils, and this can add a different therapeutic value altogether, because some of those essential oil molecules will physically merge together.
That's amazing. So mixing these oils, and they can kind of completely transform how you use them just by mixing a couple of them together. So we talked a little bit about how to properly use essential oils, but is there anything that folks should know about safety?
Most definitely. Safety aspect, essential oils can be very strong. So as long as you observe the proper dosage and the proper method of application, essential oils are safe.
Okay.
Now, pregnant women need to be aware that essential oils will cross over to the placenta. So it is not recommended to use them in your first trimester, and even after that, I would only do it with the help of an educated professional.
Sure.
Same accounts for children. Children are much more sensitive to the action of essential oils, so I would not recommend doing it just by yourself. A controversial subject is the ingestion of essential oils. Many people are out there doing this nowadays. It can be potentially dangerous. Think about it. If you apply an essential oil to your skin, you will probably experience a burning sensation because they're that highly concentrated. Now you can imagine that that is exactly what happens to your inner mucous membranes as well. So unless you know exactly what it is you're doing and which dosage, I would not recommend it.
Okay.
So once again, ask a professional before you do such thing. Talk to your doctor when you take medication. There could be drug interactions. So you need to do this in conjunction with your doctor. What else? Some essential oils are phototoxic. This is mostly citrus. Like one example is the lemon. Phototoxic meaning it will bundle sunlight, and so it can burn your skin. So you need to apply those 12 hours before you go into the sunlight.
Okay, makes sense. So yeah, that's all good advice, definitely. Are there a few essential oils that we have here today that you could introduce us to?
Sure, I was thinking I would introduce you to 2 because there are 2 methods that essential oils are extracted.
Okay.
And one of them is distillation.
Okay.
That is where water and or steam is used to separate the oil components from the water components. And then the other method is cold pressing.
Okay.
And all citrus oils are cold pressed. And those are the 2 methods that are used for therapeutic grade essential oils. And so I'm going to introduce you to one from each method.
Okay.
And so the first one I like to introduce you to is a cold pressed one, and that is the lemon. So I would like for you to take this lemon and just take your fingernail and slice into the peel.
Okay.
And you will see that you're releasing a liquid.
Oh, yeah.
And when you smell that, that is the essential oil of lemon. So what you open there are the essential oil glands. And so this is one of the cold pressed oils.
Okay. Yeah, you see it instantly too. As soon as you kind of just put your fingernail on it, it comes right out. Wow.
So lemon is a cold pressed oil. It has a very gentle and calming action.
Okay.
It's actually considered an antidepressant for its ability to calm the nerves. It is an antiseptic, which is why you will find it in a lot of household cleaners.
Okay.
Because it's used as a disinfectant. It is an anti-inflammatory, and it is also indicated for liver problems.
Interesting. Yeah, and as soon as we did that, and the smell, it is very uplifting too. So I could see how it would have those antidepressant qualities, definitely.
Now, another interesting fact about lemon is that nobody actually knows its origin. Most people think it came from China, and it may even be a hybrid.
Interesting. Wow, yeah, we use lemon for a lot, so that's really interesting. Great. And then I know you brought this plant with us here too.
Yes, so this is my example, this is a little heavy, of a steam distilled oil.
Okay.
This is a spearmint plant I brought. So I chose spearmint. I was going to originally pick peppermint.
Okay.
However, most people don't know that peppermint is actually a hybrid across spearmint and watermint. So spearmint grows upright, where peppermint is more of a ground cover.
Right.
The spearmint leaves are wrinklier, where peppermint's main chemical component is menthol. Spearmint's main chemical component is carvone. Spearmint is an anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
Just like lemon, it has a calming action. It calms the nerves. It is considered a tonic for your digestive system. And just like peppermint, it is a known aid for respiratory complaints.
Yeah, and just with this plant sitting here between us, you definitely get the aroma of the spearmint. So for this plant then, how is the essential oil extracted? Is it from the leaf?
It's from the leaves.
Okay.
Yes. So they would gather the leaf material and put it into a steam distiller with water underneath, and then the components would go up into the air because essential oils are very volatile, which means they easily go into the air, and then in the process of distillation, they're then separated.
Wow, that's really interesting. I think one of the neat things is that folks probably have spearmint or peppermint or different herbs growing in their backyards or in their garden, and they might use them for cooking, but they don't even realize the other uses they could have, like for essential oils or the healing properties that those herbs might have, or different fruits and things like that. So it's really interesting for people. So speaking of people learning more about essential oils and aromatherapy, here at the Nature Center, we've offered different classes about herbs and natural healing. So you're going to be leading a workshop coming up here as we get through the summer, on a few different topics. So we have one coming up about aromatherapy. What are some of the other topics that you're going to be discussing as part of the natural healing series?
So we call the series Healing Power of Nature.
Right.
The first seminar will be actually this coming weekend about herbs. Next month we're having aromatherapy. The month after, actually in July, I think we're doing circulation. And then the last one of the series is
we're doing something on the skin and
skin deep.
Yes.
So how can we use nature, herbs, essential oils to our benefit for skin, natural oils.
Those are, I think, a lot of really interesting topics for people, and I saw you reaching for that book because one of the really great things about the workshops that you lead is that folks not only get to see things in person, and it's very hands-on, and they get samples, and they get to experience what the aromatherapy would be like, or the essential oils, or some of the skin products that you create. But they also get to take the resources home in order to continue and start kind of doing that on their own. So I think they get a lot out of a short workshop that we offer here at the Nature Center. So, folks can get more information by stopping in at the Nature Center, or we have online registration for those. Yes. So is there anything else that you want to share with the community about essential oils or aromatherapy that we might have forgot to mention?
Yes. One of the aspects of me, everybody is asking me, what is a therapeutic grade oil?
Oh, right.
Because everybody is talking about it. Nobody can really define it. So it's actually very simple to explain. What is a therapeutic grade oil? It is an essential oil as intended by nature. No alteration.
Okay.
No additives. No toxins. Distilled in a way that doesn't destroy its properties. So distilled by an expert and then under quality control. And that is a therapeutic grade essential oil.
Okay.
Because many people think an essential oil is now altered in some way to make it therapeutic grade. It's the other way around. An oil that is not altered in any way as intended by nature is a therapeutic grade oil.
So how would one determine if it was a therapeutic grade essential oil?
It is kind of like what we talked about earlier with the quality. We have the Latin name on a bottle. It's in a dark bottle to protect the oils.
Sure.
It has quality seals on it, USDA organic, certified organic. All these indications. It's a reputable company that discloses their chemical analysis, their process of extraction. Those are the things that we want to.
So it sounds like it's important for folks to do a little bit of research before they go out and start to buy and to use these products. So great opportunity for them to come to one of our workshops that we're offering to learn more about it before they get started. And so I love the connection that we have using the natural world to heal and to better the body and the mind. So I look forward to continuing that partnership with you. So thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching this episode of Nature in the Hills. For more information about the healing power of nature or aromatherapy and essential oils, please call the Nature Center at 248-477-1135. See you next time.